I know, right? It's kind of crazy. 2 sessions in one day. But it's time to get back to massive effort. Laid off you guys for a little while, but we're about to crank it up like you've never seen. And with massive effort, I'm doing something new. It's called Question of the Week. Because people have questions, and the thing is, there is so much content that I'm putting out that I could literally work 60, 70 hours a week on stuff and just putting out content. And I'm really learning to pick and choose what's best. And the best way to do that is to ask questions. So here's the question from Kevin. How do I get YouTube folks to pick up a video of mine and blog it, Facebook it, and post it on their YouTube site? Also, I want them to tweet it and whatever else to get my video out to the world. How do I get this done for free? I would like to know. Dude, so would I. Because I'm about to give you my YouTube journey, and it's not what I thought it was going to be. In some ways, it sucks. In some ways, it's freaking awesome. So let's begin. You're a business guy, and I'm a business guy. And I learned early on that most business videos often suck. Now let's talk about suck. Is the content bad? No, often there are a ton of great business videos on YouTube that don't get a lot of views because they're what? About business. They're about doing something. They're about being productive. And people, a lot of business people are just, they're boring as fuck. I will tell you, I mentioned it before, but there's going to be the video Charmin. That's going to be a whole special hustler mindset thing. It's coming, but I need to clean up what's already out here before I move on to the next thing. So help people out with that. And because they suck, they don't go viral or spread. I want you to think about all of these Super Bowl commercials, because that's what your video is. It's a commercial. Unless you're doing long form, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Most videos fall under like 8 minutes or so. So unless you're doing long form and you have a unique audience, it's very, very difficult and challenging to get a business video to go viral. Yeah, I know, not what you really want to hear. Not what you want to hear, but I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to pour that drink straight. So, how do you get a business video to move? It must be looked upon as everything else but a business video. What I learned when I first started is your video's got to be memorable. I've done a lot of crazy things, and this is one thing, whether it's through vilification or admiration. Everyone in the resale world knows who I am. They may not like me, but they know who I am. Therefore, you got to do something to make yourself memorable. I will give you this guy. So he's the Bonafide Hustler. He's got this thing where he's like, Bonafide. And everyone knows who he is. He's made himself memorable. You got to do something like that so people remember you, because a lot of folks don't initially subscribe and they'll just kind of look at you for a few times, but you have to help them remember you, because the average person is going through so much data on a daily basis. It's very easy to be lost in the shuffle. So you got to have something. I don't care what a crazy background or something. It's going to be something unique to you and unique to your brand. Now, this is some research that just blew my mind, because, from a resale perspective and other people in the resale community, my channel looks like hot shit. It really does. 2.3 million views. I can go to someone else's channel and they'll do what I've done in my collective YouTube career in a week. So I'm like, I'm kind of like looking over the fence and looking at their grass and stuff. And what I had to remember was, it's YouTube, and what I'm looking at is comparing apples to spaceships. I shouldn't do that, nor should you do that for your business. Now, this is the creepy part. Last time I checked, and it's very hard to get these statistics, over half the videos on YouTube have less than 100 views. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. Over half have less than 100 views. The YouTube videos that are recommended to you are ones that are trending. Like you log in and there's a video there. It's either something due to your subscriber base, you subscribe, or it's a trending video that's moving up and YouTube is pushing it. YouTube only pushes a video when it catches a certain level of fire. Then they will just start spreading it. And every time you log on, bam, it's in your face. Now, this is another statistic. Over 90% of the videos on YouTube have 500 views. Yes, less than 500 views. And remember what I just told you about the pushing. You don't get to see them unless you search them or it's a friend or someone. They're never recommended to you, so that then they come in the mix. And the thing is, because it's like the United States of America. There's 308 million people legitimately, and probably 10, 20, 30, maybe 20 million illegals. And people kind of look at certain demographics and forget how many people are here, and they'll see certain things and things get lost in the numbers because you don't know what the numbers are and you don't really know how to proportionally evaluate the situation. So when I came across this information, I started smiling because I'm in the freaking top 10% of YouTubers, and I didn't even know that. I thought I was like, on that bottom tier. I had no clue. But seriously, if you start a YouTube channel and you can get, you put up 5 videos and each video gets 1,000 to maybe 3,000 views, you have done something, because it's hard. It's harder now than it was when I started, and it was hard when I started. The ones who really got put on and they earned it because they were the first ones to sign up to YouTube was the early YouTubers who signed up 2005, 2006. If they hung around and had some kind of format, a lot of those people cashed out. Now let's talk about spread. Bullshit spreads. You remember the uppercut bus driver? The chick that was all alley and he hit her with the straight up George Foreman uppercut? That went all everywhere. It was on the news. It was because it's bullshit. We as a culture love bullshit. And when I say culture, I'm not talking about the United States. This video spread internationally. Now I want you to know something. Videos that we see from international waters are usually better, but our crap goes around the world. Why? Because we're America, baby. I don't care what anyone says. The United States of America is still the best thing going for a lot of stuff, even with all the problems in the economy and the financial and congressional gridlock. There are a lot of people that will sell their children to live here right now. So when we do stuff, it goes. And that's just one of the things. And I had to really make a choice because I came across Trisha, and it was like watching a train wreck. I don't know if she intentionally does this stuff, but she says the most outlandish, craziest things. As you can tell, she's a big girl. She revels in that. But if you go up to the number of subscribers, people love her. Even if they don't love her, they still watch her. I don't try to watch Trish because I came across her once. This is from the recommendations. If you watch a certain type of video, they will push the top tier of that video towards you. And this was years ago when I was really caught up with the pole dancing. And I'm not talking about Magic City. I'm talking about where the girls did these gymnastic moves. I mean, that was just freaking amazing to me, because how do you do that and not fall and bust your ass? I mean, it's talent. So for some reason, watching that, I came across Trish. Don't know why, because Trish cannot work the pole. Well, she may work some poles, but I hated on Trish. And then about the 8th time I saw her videos, I was like, okay, whatever the hell she's doing, it's working. And her thing is, she's outlandish. She's completely, utterly over the top, outlandish. And just as many people hate her, even more love her. And I'm going to estimate, based on what I make from YouTube, this girl is making anywhere from $6,000 to $12,000 a month. Yes, I know. It is crazy. But I really looked at it, and it made me evaluate what I was doing, because it is not my business advice that got me the views. It was the storage auction stories. That's what it did. Now, for those of you, Kevin, that really want to learn how to get your videos to fly, you have to network. You have to figure out how many people online are interested in what you're doing that have a fan base. Then you reach out to them. Then you get those guys to filter your stuff to their tribes. Because if you put up a video about some type of business technique, or it will get lost. YouTube will just go like, that's not interesting. I mean, seriously, let's just look at it. I was writing about storage auctions, doing storage auction videos 15 months before it became a national television bonanza. You know, right thing, right time, right stuff. So, I put out a lot of videos. So when the thing hit, I had a lot of content, and it just floated me over. But I noticed when I would do like 5 or 6 or 7 stories, my book sales would increase. It's really, really interesting. And since I'm in the format of, changing this, and, going back to Trish, let's go back. No, going back to Trish. This is what made me develop the hustler mindset. I had to make a choice. It was like, okay, for me to be successful on YouTube, I'm going to either have to become outlandish, or I'm going to have to do something really crazy to really crank this up. And that's just not something I wanted to do. I didn't really want that. I mean, it's like, you got to live with yourself. And, she's young, so 10 years from now, she'll look at it and laugh. But that's not going to work for me. So I started thinking, how do I reach the people who really care about what I do? Then, just worked out the plan, created the hustler mindset, and this is still going on. I'm still in the evaluation progress and just working on it, because the internet keeps changing. Like this whole thing with video, everyone is running to video. Businesses, like plumbers, they're like, hey, I'm AJ Plumbing, and they're putting up a video because someone said, hey, you need to be on YouTube. But they forgot to say, you need to be on YouTube. You need to be in the right category. You need to portray your business in the right light. You need the right lighting. You need the right camera. All kinds of things that no one told them. And they're putting up these crappy ass commercials that no one's paying attention to. But fortunately, they did it themselves, and it was free. So they didn't lose any money. But there's definitely a better way. But networking, number one way to get views. More so than, you can have a crappy ass video, but if you network right, you'll get more views than someone who spent 10, 15, 20 hours making their video. With perfect content, perfect lighting, perfect audio, the story's good. No, it's networking. Be silly or be crass. I'm toward the crass thing, since I use the fuck word a lot. And then lastly, keywords. Because without these other things going, you can keyword your video properly, and it will populate up in Google, and those people who are looking specifically for what you do will find you. And that's one of the ways that you can have a video that only has 200, 300, 400 views, and it can make money, because it's very specific to that crowd. But the thing is, YouTube is constantly changing. YouTube in the last 14 months has made more changes than my whole time on YouTube combined. 3.5 years, the last year and 2 months, there have been sweeping changes. I'm going to tell you, the layout's about to change again. They just changed it, and it's about to change again. So what you learn and apply will only work for a short duration, and you're going to have to do something else. This is why, hustler mindset, Sparta, building my network. I'm not pushing sign up and be my Facebook friend. I am pushing sign up on my mailing list, because regardless of what YouTube does or anyone else does, if you're on the mailing list, I can communicate with you what I want to communicate with you, because email kills everything else in terms of conversion. Everything else. Number one, because just because someone subscribes, and that's another thing, when YouTube made the massive algorithm change, And they went through all that stuff because a lot of people had to resubscribe to my channel. It was just utter chaos for a while because they did some stuff. So a lot of people got turned off. And it's not like they don't like me. They're just like sick of YouTube and they stopped watching. So I predict, and this is what I'm working on, having my, hustle mindset, my own videos, my own platform, controlling that, because I will tell you, if I had stuck to my guns, and part of it was, number one, I didn't know what I was doing. I knew some of the right things to do, but I wasn't doing them because I had the wrong equipment, wrong information. Like I had the Toshiba. I did not know that the Toshiba was not going to be able to handle videos. It was a brand new machine. Thought it would. Video rendering will kill a computer. That's the reason I went to Mac, because they have the horsepower to handle it. So I lost 3 mailing lists. And looking back, it was critical, because if I kept up with my mailing list and I had 6,000 people on the mailing list, and I created my own YouTube channel and put advertising on it, my AdSense money would triple, because I can go out and say, look, I've got this number of people, this is the conversion rates, these are the metrics, and I could have sold ads against my channel and not have to worry about flagging or any other stuff. And that's the intention for the future. I'm not going to leave YouTube. YouTube's wonderful. YouTube's awesome. A lot of great stuff happens there. But I am not going to leave all of my eggs in that basket that someone else is constantly shifting the straw. Now, this is the number one way to get your video to spread. You have to become a storyteller. You have to, whatever you're talking about, you have to tell a story. We live in a culture where the attention span of the average person is about 8 nanoseconds. So if they are not entertained, they're not going to listen. Just not going to happen. There's a piece I'm going to send out, and it's called Present Shock, that explains this and why people respond. And another book, if you don't have it, Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely, talks about this stuff. Drive, Dan Pink, I'm going to recommend that book in probably last week, because the stuff that is going on is insane, and it's moving faster and faster and faster. And that's one of the reasons that, I consume all this information and data, because, you can learn something, it'll be good for 6 months to a year, and then it's going to change on you. That's just how it is. But there's a but, and it's a good but, a really good but. Like, I like big but. No, okay, that's Sir Mix-a-Lot. But if you create your own tribe, you mitigate a lot of this stuff. You have your own people, your own posse, your own, cipher, whatever. You mitigate this stuff, because the thing is, yes, things are changing, but the platform is changing how it delivers stuff to the end user, which is creating the havoc. If you have your own end user base and you can send them emails and you can send them a message, you are in a great seat. You're in a great position. So understand, when I'm talking about technology changing, I am talking about that most people, like, let's look at Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Most people are using the platform that they don't pay anyone for, and then want to get mad and revolt when the owners of that platform say, hey, we're about to make some changes. And these people are like, no, how dare you give me this for free and then expect me to deal with these changes that you're making? I don't care if I'm not paying you a red pickle. I'm entitled. That's how people are. And I look at this stuff and it's like, God bless the child that has his own, because what's going to happen as the internet grows, you're going to have sectors, because people don't trust reviews. People don't trust certain things, and they're going to trust their tribe, and these tribes are going to grow. And the thing is, it's going to take time. It's going to take time, because I look at what's happening with my YouTube channel, and it's some real interesting stuff, because I look at the metrics. When I first started, I was just like, not doing that well. Like, I'm talking about 150 views a week. Yes, 150 views a week. When I hit 10,000 that first month, I was like, woohoo! It took time. My YouTube channel I built and worked on But I had a multi-pronged approach. It was just like the videos weren't designed for YouTube. The videos were designed to brand me, craft my image, and sell my books. So when I did get to make some YouTube money, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool too. Because, I like money. But the intent wasn't for YouTube. The intent was for my website and blogs. So you got to remember why you're doing what you're doing. That's one of the reasons that I stopped pushing the ebooks on Kindle and these other places, because they're not my platforms. And they can change things in a heartbeat that will impact my bottom line. And I won't even know it until it's too late, because they're very good at that. Amazon's made a lot of changes. And in the next 3-4 years, Amazon's going to make some more changes. That's why when you're selling multi-channels, you need to have your own thing. And I'm a member of an e-commerce group, and people lament. It's like, yeah, building a website takes so much time. Let me tell you something. My partner and I built a website 2004 to sell another product. Based on what we went through with that process and what you can do with a WordPress blog, building a website is not hard at all if you went through that experience, where you had to put in every line, where you had to hook up the shopping cart. It was a fucking nightmare. It took 8 weeks to get that sucker up. And what we did in 8 weeks with a website designer and my partner doing back-end work on filling out product categories, you can do now in a matter of days, mostly by yourself. So, think about it. Because the thing is, hey, in the blogging section, I'm going to do some more stuff with blogging. I kind of pull back because it's tax season. People are out there, and I need to hit the resell thing really hard. But you can play around, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You get your hosting, you play around with some URLs, experiment, have a little fun, because understand, you want to have a video that goes back to your website. And as for getting all these other people to help you, if there's nothing in it for them, or they really don't like you, they're not going to do it. Just to be real straight up about it, they're not going to do it, because I could be further ahead if I would affiliate myself with Storage Treasures, Storage Auction List. There's another one, and there's another one, and there's another one. But I don't believe in their product. I think their product cripples people, and everyone's like, hey, they're doing well, they're making money, and the people that love it. Then I stepped back, and I was like, okay, what's really going on? And then it hit me. 90% of the people that use those websites are part-timers. They're part-timers. So all this robust, over-the-top business education stuff, it was too much for them. It was like putting a 12-cylinder engine in a Volkswagen Beetle with the regular Beetle transmission. It was too much. That's why it didn't make sense to them, because they were only part-time. They didn't have the time to sit there and call up these places because they had a job. And when that became very clear, and I put that out in my video I put up on YouTube, 9% of the people in picking storage, they're part-timers. So really robust, full-time, extracurricular, esoteric information is beyond them, because they're not in a position to use it. It's too much. And then I just, whoa, I just kind of settled down, and I reevaluated what I was doing and how I delivered it. And that's what you have to look at for your market, your efforts, and your videos. If you are doing videos and you want to sell to secretaries, you've got to go to the secretary forum. You have to talk to the secretary forum's chiefs, find out how many secretary forums, and go in those chat boards, talk to those people, and spend some time, hey, how you doing? Shaking hands, wiping noses, whatever you need to do. And then 2-3 weeks later, or 2 months, then you're like, oh yeah, I have videos. Because the end user, which is everyone, the customer, which is everyone, has more power, information, and choice than they ever had since this whole thing began. And they're flexing hard. Someone put up a video today about people going to the thrift store for returns. That's how arrogant the consumer has become. I can buy some used stuff and take it back. When we had our store, we had no refunds. None. You buy, you keep, you go. Because They'll buy something used, which already, I mean, the fact that it's used, it's used. You know what you're getting into. But they're like, hey, I'm unhappy and I want my money back. Number form, because the number of returns and stuff are going up on eBay, Amazon, and this one guy he sells shoes on one of the e-commerce groups, and someone wore the shoes for 6 months, didn't like it, and wanted to return used shoes that had been worn for 6 months, and then filed a chargeback when he wouldn't take them, and they won the chargeback. So this is who you're dealing with. This is who you're trying to sell with. I'm not saying everybody's that shady, but the number of people who are trying to get over or work the system is all-time high. When you see videos on YouTube and it's like, yeah, you go to a garage sale, even if it's a good price, take them down a little more. You know, if they got an inch of hair, go down to the scalp. That's what people are learning. It's like, yeah, because, and I put in, pimping Craigslist. There's a group of people that unless it's a killer screaming deal, it's not worth doing. If, the new item cost them $400 and they can get it from you for $250, they ain't good enough. They want to get it from you for $125 or better, $100. Then they can go and like, yeah, I got this. I can sell it for $250. I got it for $100. Yuckity yuck yuck. I mean, seriously, that guy, he's having children. That guy and his chicks are laying eggs because there's a lot of people that are doing that. So it's one of the things that you should take in advance when you're developing your video policy, because understand, before you make your video, you need to know who you're selling to, who you're trying to craft your message to, because if you don't, it's just going to go up into nothing. And that's it. Hopefully that answered your question, gave you a little bit to chew on. And honestly, if you're trying to become an authority, with your thing, a podcast, or just, start doing your videos and just keep pushing, brother. Keep pushing. All right. So this is a social media section of the Hustler Mindset. It'll be on the social media tag, and you can check it out at your leisure. This is Glendon, and I will see you on the good side.